folks. All right, I'm going to go mount the camera for YouTube, and we will get this baby started. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast of Whiskey Without Borders with the Whiskey Doctor tonight. And we are talking the Dead Sea Apex, the Dead Sea. All right.
This is what we're talking about tonight is M&H, which used to be formerly known as Milk and Honey Distillery. It was the first distillery in Israel, first modern distillery in Israel. And it is in 40 different countries now. They've got product in 40 different countries. It's fairly easily found in the United States. Benny's in Chicagoland carries it. Total Wines carries it. Here in Gainesville, there are 2 or 3 other local stores that carry it. There are stores in Tampa that carry it. I'm sure it's in probably Cleveland, probably Columbus, Dallas, you name it. It's like I said, it's in 40 different countries. And as far as I know, all the states. We're hoping that the Florida rep, who is someone that I've met before, will be on later. He had an event at 7. If he gets free, he does have an invitation to join us. And if he's able to do that, he can tell us a little bit more. So we're hoping that he'll be here.
Awesome. I'm going to do that. Make sure that you tell us where you're from and what you're sipping on. We monitor comments. So also, if you want to, we have a leaderboard and the super chat. Check that out. Send. All right. We're both in it. We're talking. A leaderboard and the super chat. Check that out. I don't know what's going on with my hat here. There we go. Let's get that. I got it. So that's going good. Welcome everybody to YouTube. Welcome everybody. All right. So tonight we'll monitor comments on Facebook and YouTube. We got Matt Russell. Everything's set up to go. Let me just quick. You know, it's funny because it just seems like, but it looks fine. All right. So tonight, I'm just going to run through our sponsors. Everybody, Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfort, Kentucky, along with their new tasting room in Louisville in the Nulu area. Whiskey Thief sponsors us, and they are a fantastic bourbons and ryes that they got going there. It is the coolest thing about Whiskey Thief is when you walk in, it's a barrel pick all day, every day, 7 days a week. You can walk in, and for the price of admission, you get a tour. And then you also get to taste from 5 separate barrels. Right now, it's a rye, 3 bourbons, and 1 wheated bourbon. So you're talking some fantastic whiskey. If you like it, you can then thief it out of the barrel right into your own bottle. Whiskey Thief is an experience like none other. And then in Frankfurt, they have live music. They have a dining or a relaxing area out back on the farm. They've got a food truck. It's just a great experience, outdoor experience. You got to check out Whiskey Thief Distilling Company. And then you've got Middle West Spirits with their Michelin brand of whiskey and bourbons. Right here, I've got the wheated cask strength wheat whiskey. And they also make a fantastic that we just recently, the last 2 podcasts ago, we covered it, and it was their wheated 4-grain bourbon, which was fantastic. But what Ryan Lang is doing there, they've got their craft distillery right a little bit, I believe, I want to say west of Columbus. You check out their craft distillery because they got tours and tastings, but they have the service bar restaurant, which is fantastic. So plus now they built a 75,000 square foot distillery at their other location, which is, I believe, a little bit southeast of Columbus. And there they are producing it is a huge distillery, one of the largest in North America. So you got to check out Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. They're in 48 states. It's on the shelf. Just go to your local liquor store.
They actually have three facilities now.
Right. They purchased the Old Elk Distillery in Colorado. So that I'm working with Ryan. He's going to be on the podcast coming up soon. He says he's very busy. It's hard for him to be around because he's working the deal with all the different places. And Ryan, he is a one-man show, and what he's doing is pretty amazing. And then we've got the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. You got to go down there and check that out. There, when you're there, you can visit the casino and the hotel with the rotunda. But you got to go over while you're there. You got to go over there and check out the Spirit of French Lick Winery and Distillery. Fantastic bourbons and wines, and it's what would you say? It is a working distillery that has some fantastic bourbons. It's all the whiskey that's aging there and getting put onto the shelf. Alan Bishop, the master distiller there for, I believe, 9 years, and he is now at Old Homestead Distillery, but his whiskey is still there at the Spirit of French Lick, and it's not going to be there forever, but it's going to be there for a while. And it is some right here we got the William Dalton, the wheated version. This is a pick that we did with him right before he left. It's fantastic wheated bourbon. Some of the best whiskey that you can taste. So check out the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. And that brings us to Alan Bishop. He is the master distiller at Old Homestead Distillery, starting to set things up, but he also has his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube that you got to check out. If you like distilling, this is the podcast on YouTube for you. He'll even answer you, send in your questions. He answers them right there on the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. And then he also has this really cool podcast. If you have ghosts, you have everything. It is the best of both the spirits industry and the spiritual realm combined into one podcast with some fantastic stories, events, and experiences that people have had combining both those realms. So check out If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. And not last but not least, make sure that if you see some Rosewood bourbons and ryes on the shelf, you pick them up. It's there. Jason Giles down there, he basically distills in Kentucky, but purchases out of Kentucky and purchases whiskey out of Indiana. He ages it, and then when it's ready, he drives it down to Texas, Houston, Texas, and he ages it for at least one hot season in that Texas heat, and the results are spectacular. So if you see a bottle on the shelf, pick one up. Let me know, because if you see it, I want to get it myself. So Rosewood Bourbon and Rye. All right, so we're ready to go. What do you think there, Whiskey Doctor? Should we get this ball rolling?
Let's make it happen.
All right, so everybody, there's gonna be a brief period of silence for 50 seconds, and then you're gonna hear our theme song. I will see it, and then we'll get it started. All right, here we go.
bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk songs, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun and we're here to have fun.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here tonight, and this is our special every other month Whiskey Without Borders episode with the Whiskey Doctor. Welcome there, Doc.
Good to be here.
Yes.
We are sharing tonight a whiskey from Israel.
Yeah, and this should be pretty cool. We've got it there. But first off, remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You got the bourbon, our merchandise of our t-shirts and our Glens. Check that out. And then also our bios. And then also we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, along with Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. And no matter how you watch us or listen to us, make sure you like, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. That was one of the better ones.
That's important. That really helps get the word out to other people.
Yes, for sure. So one of the things that I like about the Whiskey Without Borders is it just starts to, what would you say? It brings up our diversity of whiskey. And that's one of the cool things about the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. People always ask Scotchy. I wanted to talk with you, Doc, about, we were out in Chicago last Saturday night with Martin Duffy, who, as you really got a chance to meet him this time, and his knowledge of whiskeys around the world, like what we're doing with Whiskey Without Borders, was extensive. Did you pick up or taste anything that,
One thing that was really interesting is because we kind of asked him to help us find a few to taste, and he brought out some really good scotches. But then toward the end, he had us try something that was totally unique. I'd never had anything like it before, and it was actually a Lebanese whiskey. And we will be looking at that here on the show sometime. It's crazy good.
Yes.
A couple of us picked up bottles of it, so we'll be sharing it around for tastings. And he wasn't just limited to Scotch, or he wasn't just limited to Irish whiskey.
No, not at all.
He knew a little bit about all of it.
He knows Irish, Scotch. He knows all the single malt whiskey was his thing. He worked for a distributor, and as you know, if you work for a distributor, you're usually doing multiple brands across. Not always, like, if you might be the Scotch expert for a distributor or a single malt, but you're still going to work the other brands because that's just how this works. So yeah, I that's one thing. Before you came along, Doc, it was like we pretty much held out for one or two with Martin Duffy and an Irish whiskey, and then that was pretty much that was the extent of it. So now that
John Ritt grabbed a bottle of that also, and he made the comment here. He says the Lebanese whiskey's the bomb. So just, if Martin Duffy tells me you're going to like this, I don't even have to question it. Just it's going to be there. And Bob was in on that too. Not just Martin, but Bob was in on helping us find stuff. Bob is the manager of the restaurant we ate at.
Green Post. The Green Post in Lincoln Park.
Selection. We talked about that on Tuesday, so we don't need to to really go about that anymore. But we did want to make sure that y'all knew that Bob was in on that too.
Right. And the restaurant was fantastic. I mean, we're always going to give a shout out for good food. Who you just gotta.
Absolutely.
All right. So, all right. So this bottle, Apex, M&H, what you said, wheat, whiskey,
Milk and
M&H
honey.
whiskey
Excuse me,
distillery.
milk and honey.
Right, milk and honey. But it's got the logo is what? Toro, a bull.
Basically, yeah, it's a bull. And one thing I read made the comment that not only so the bull, it also has. This one doesn't. This one's silver, but in one of them it was orange and black, so it reminded them of a bumblebee coloring. And I think you see that orange on your box too, or is that silver?
Yeah, it's got some there. So yeah. I'm gonna pull this baby out. Nice bottle. As far as information goes, I know you have some information, and I have some information. Let's drop the box down.
Yeah, the box actually has a little discussion in it, a little information on it. It's, it talks about the aroma being dried fruit and potpourri.
Well, hold that off.
That too. It also talks about pipe smoke with a hint of rose petals.
Yeah, you could give those out, but we gotta give our own, because
what we think.
This is we will be doing the old Louisville barrel bottle breakdown of Apex. So it is actually called the Dead Sea, right? This is the Dead Sea version.
They've got several different. Give me just a second. They've got several different options. They've got M&H Classics. They've got their Element series, their Art and their Craft series, their Apex series, which is the one we're looking at, and then they've got Gin also. And each series is slightly different. The Apex series that we're looking at actually has three different. It's got single casks, it's got small batches, and it's got their Terroir series, which is where we are. And the Terroir has the Dead Sea along with several others. It's got the Dead Sea, the Jerusalem Mountains, the Negev Desert, and the Sea of Galilee. So it's got four different places that they've actually had this whiskey being aged.
So they said the Dead Sea, this single malt, is the first ever whiskey aged in the lowest place on earth, the Dead Sea, with temperatures climbing as high as 50 degrees Celsius.
That's 124, almost 124 degrees Fahrenheit.
This whiskey is as strong and intense as the climate it was matured in. Now, this one was 3 years. The distilling date was 2018. The bottling date was 2020. So 3/12/2018 to 2/9/2022. And it was aged 3 years, batch 19, and it's 100. This one is 111 proof, 55.5 ABV.
Mine should be the same because I bought them together. So
it should.
And it is.
Okay.
You're going to talk about the terroir a little bit, but the fact that it's at basically the lowest place on earth, that's almost 1,400, a little bit over 1,400 feet below sea level.
Yeah.
So that's going to have pressures on those barrels that you don't get in Kentucky, you don't get in Scotland, you don't get in Nepal, other places like that.
Nope. I'm going to quick pour this up so it can breathe a little bit. But
with the temperatures going to 120 plus and that intense pressure, if they tried to make a 10-year whiskey, they couldn't.
No, the 3 years at that height is really putting some stuff right on there. I believe.
And the other two, something else that's interesting because it does get so hot and because there is so much pressure there, they have a 25% angel share per year.
Yeah. So if it's 3 years, you're talking 75% of the whiskey's gone.
Uh,
Or they just have a lot of people that say they don't drink whiskey and they're just that's part of the angels share where they're that's how they do it. They blame it on the angels.
Yeah.
That would be a good song. Blame it on the angels. Anyways, all right. So as everybody knows, I really, really like to get into the terroir. I believe that's one part of whiskey that a lot of people just take for granted. Like, and this is based off of where you grow your grains, or the terroir is also where the trees are grown to make barrels. It's all part of uh, the environment of what happens. Like a lot of scotches they're on islands, so a lot of the barley being grown is being grown on the ocean. So you have salt water dousing the grain as it's foggy and whatever, it brings it in off there, and it's always constantly, and that's going to affect the barley that you're making your single malt, opposed to growing it someplace else that's not on the ocean. So that's like, there's so much studies that go on to it. But the Apex Terroir series is our exploration of how places shape whiskey, inspired by the vision of the late Dr. Jim Swan, who called our region a playground for innovation. This release delves into the impact of climate on maturation. From shifting humidity and temperature to the influence of elevation, each location leaves a telltale mark on the whiskey through cask maturation, creating a depth of character never explored before. This is a new perspective on whiskey. This is Whiskey Terroir. And I believe you gave, nope, that was it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I gave you 2 pages to look at. Want to point out this is 100% malted barley, like a lot of the other whiskeys around the world are.
Well, that's when you talk about single malts, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a single malt is malted barley grown and in the same season, in a specific time period, and then distilled and barreled. That's how a single malt comes to fruition.
A lot of our bourbon folks may not know that barley is the single malt that's used, but it is, and makes an interesting flavor. And it's interesting how in different areas that flavor can come out quite differently. They use used bourbon barrels, and they also use used wine barrels, and and then they blend them to come up with this.
Well, so that brings us to our, I think we're ready, are we not?
Sure.
So we are going to do our section. It is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company Barrel Bottle Breakdown. This is where Old Louisville Whiskey Company, they sponsor us. Amin there has a great experience. You got to look them up on the internet, call them up, set up a time to come there. This is going to be part of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys bus tour this year. We're all going to be going to Amin's, and we're also going to all be going to Whiskey Thief with the new location in Louisville with Walter. So that's really cool. But the Old Louisville Whiskey Company, they don't release anything younger than 7 years. Amin is kind of like, he's not, I wouldn't call him a mad scientist. He's more like a man with a mission who understands whiskey. If you've ever been with him, he's very knowledgeable. He knows what's in all of his barrels and how he produces in the whiskey that comes out of there, and what he has as far as a collection that he's able to put into bottles is quite astonishing. You got to check out the Old Louisville Whiskey Company in Louisville, Kentucky. And that brings us to the Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown of 8-packs. There's 4 categories. It's your nose, your body, your taste, and your finish. Scotches are well known because, well, this one's actually 111 proof, right? 55.5, I think it was 111 proof. And honestly, most scotches or single malts reside at 80 proof. So this is going to be quite unique in itself. And then, but a lot of times scotches are fruitier, lighter whiskeys. And so how they get aged. But I mean, if you're looking at the color of this one, there's a decent color on this. There's no doubt. That probably comes from the aging happened in a used bourbon barrel. So, those are the kind of really cool things. Robert Brown says hi. He's on a road trip to Locust Grove, Virginia. But each of the categories of nose, body, you can get up to 4 knocks. And then on the taste and the finish, you can get up to 5 knocks for a total of 18. But if one of the categories is exceptional, and only one, you can use it. You can't do it to 2. You can give it an extra but up. So the perfect whiskey, you're going to get a 19 out of 18. So here we go. Are you ready there?
As a former school teacher, I don't give out 19s generally.
Well, it's sometimes there's that extra. Actually, one time I gave out a 20 because I broke the rules and gave out 2 but ups. But that's neither here nor there. That was a fun podcast. It was more done politically than it was done aesthetically. Here we go. Look at that. Rolling around in my Glen. Got her perfectly coat. It coats the glass. There's a thick coat. Let's see. It
looks like it would be a little oily based on that.
Yep. It looks like based off that, it's got a nice body to it. That's for sure. It still hasn't formed. It's still coated the glass now it's starting to, yep. The legs are extremely long.
Absolutely.
As it starts to form. The full length of the glass, they're thicker. Yeah, that's really nice. All right. So the nose on this.
When I think about the nose, I've got to remind myself that we are not nosing bourbon.
Well, yeah.
We shouldn't expect it to be. I get more of the wine, because it was also aged in wine casks. I get a little bit more of that on the nose.
What type of wine cask?
The fruitiness from the red wine. Do what?
What kind of wine cask?
I don't remember red wine. I do remember that for sure, but I don't remember exactly which one. They do something called an STR, which is where they actually scrape the inside of the wine casks to get the char off of it.
Okay.
And that removes some of the tannins that you would have in that wine. So they remove those by scraping it, then they retoast it, and then they re-char it to a char level 4, an alligator char. And then they put it in there. So you don't get as much of the wine as you might get if they didn't go through that STR process. That tends to help.
Yep. Let's see.
I pick up on the nose, almost like some of the Irish whiskeys I've had.
Yes. That's because single malt is Irish. Okay.
But I pick that up more than I pick up some of the scotches.
Yep. It doesn't really get too much into what barrels they use.
No, it didn't there. I got that information somewhere else. I would have to remember where.
All right.
And I will glance through this while you talk about the nose, your perceptions on the nose a little bit.
They call it innovative spunk. Let's take this off. My nose instantly picks up the char. It's got a nice sweetness. I do definitely pick up the aspect of the red wine. But there's a smokiness on there that's not the kind of smokiness that happens in a bourbon. It's not a char. This is more like a peat, but not real bad. But it's there. It's almost like Johnny Walker smokiness. All right, I'm gonna take a sip.
It just says red wine barrels. It doesn't say exactly which ones.
Mm-hmm. There's a campfire kind of taste to this. Surprisingly, Scotch usually doesn't come with a hug. This one comes with a hug. That warmth goes right down.
All the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it in my belly. Yeah, I get just a touch of that peat also on the back of it, on the back end. Not as much on the front end, but on the back end. And I'm not usually a big fan of peat, but this is not offensive.
This is
at
a
all.
touch. It's almost like ash. There's a smoky ash taste on the ooh. Just got a little bit of pineapple. That's interesting.
Get any blackberries?
No, let me see. It's more apricot. So if you're a single malt person who loves single malts, I really imagine this is like a well-balanced, nice. Now, what's the price on this?
Depending on where you get it, somewhere $100, $120. So it's not cheap.
No. Well, think about it. I mean, think about the process. It's being aged in the lowest place in a harsh environment, below lowest place below sea level, and then so there's got to be skill in this, and then different barrel finishes on it, and then I understand why they probably put it out at 111 proof is because the heat had to keep up that alcohol content.
And I was reading at least their first batches, they aged on a hotel rooftop in Tel Aviv. So they were out in the elements the whole time.
Gets hot there. So, all right. I think the nose, there's a little bit of chocolate. There's a little bit of char now. And so the nose does not match the taste. It's very different experience on both levels. You know what I mean?
It's interesting though. The nose changed for me.
Yes,
from before I tasted it until after I put some in my mouth. Once I'd had a little bit, the nose went way more buttery.
Yeah, and it's also there's a little bit of chocolate there. And that's also because of how it sits in the glass, once it's in that glass.
Right.
It's almost, yeah. All right. So
this is one I can't wait to go back to 10 minutes after I've finished it and see what the nose on the glass is once it's empty. And then I'm not getting any of that liquid.
So the chocolate cake incident, who is on YouTube, said that they tried Howler Howler Head over the weekend and really thought that was good stuff and it was cheap. And then Shabazz Khan said hi. So want to throw that out there. But that's really funny because Howler Head is a very unique flavored whiskey. That's for sure. All right.
Yeah, I tried an interesting flavored whiskey while we were in Chicago
Oh,
that I liked, and everybody else thought I was crazy.
no,
Basically,
that is not
called
whiskey.
Malort.
No, Malort is not whiskey.
Is it not? What is it?
No, it's not. It's its own thing. You got to read about it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is not whiskey.
Well, it's definitely different.
That is, oh, yes.
Good. I feel better if it's not whiskey.
It is not whiskey.
Good. It's just Malort.
It's
Okay.
Malort. Other people make different versions of Malort. I think it's got beer and some sort of, oh my God. It's like, it's like kombucha, but the reason why you drink kombucha is because it's good for you. Malort is not good for you. All right. So if you want to go on the nose first out of 1 to 4, what are you thinking on this? How many knocks on the barrel are we going to give this?
Remembering it's not bourbon, I would give it a 3.
So Doc, the way I look at it is I just look at each one on how well I like it. Okay. It's just based. It's not comparative. It's not a comparison. Now the only, bodies usually have to do with how high of a proof it is. You know what I mean? But when it comes to taste and nose, it's like, it's how much I like it. It's like I look at it like different whiskeys. One's pizza and the other one's birthday cake. You know what I mean? There's dessert whiskeys, there's whatever, but I love pizza and I can rate pizza overall with birthday cake. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, just because it's not bourbon. I love bourbon. Don't get me wrong. And I don't hold anything against ryes because they're not bourbons.
Good for you.
But I don't like what I like. So that usually comes down to where the rating comes in. All right.
I would still put this at a 3.
All right. 3. Did you hear all 3?
Absolutely.
All right. I fixed that problem finally. Thank you, knobs. All right.
Matt Russell made a comment earlier. He said their bourbon cream is phenomenal as well. I didn't see the previous comments to see whose bourbon cream he was talking about. So, Matt, if you want to throw that back in the chat so we can see, just for my sake, I would appreciate that.
How is Super Nash? Never mind. You're being tempted. All right. I think the nose is the strong point of this. And from the start, the very first time, I just love it. I love the chocolate. It's almost like a s'more without the graham cracker. It's like if you just ate the marshmallow it's like a burnt marshmallow chocolate. Like you scorched it's like your 6-year-old grandson's version of what a marshmallow should be on a s'more, where he just catches it on fire and burns the ever living crap out of it.
Not everybody did that.
I'm giving this nose a 4.
Okay, good.
All right, it's my turn on the body. I mean, it's not a 4 on the body. It doesn't quite hit your cheeks as much, but it pretty much covers a little bit of your cheek, my right cheek, and then it's a top, bottom, underneath, whatever. So I'm going to give this body a 3, and that's pretty good for a Scotch, in my opinion. What you giving the body?
Well, I'm kind of leaning more toward the 4. I really like it.
Okay.
Just about perfect on that.
All right.
That being said, are you counting the hug as part of the body or no?
No, the hug would be included in. Some people include it or keep the hug. They keep out because it's like you're talking about. Now we're going to go to taste and finish.
That's why I figured body's where it belongs.
Well, you could put it there, but
I'm feeling it in both cheeks, and just that nice warm feeling all the way down. That's why I gave it the 4.
yeah. All right, you're up on taste. You could give her
I
up to
gotta
5
top it
knocks.
back off. Sorry,
What?
got to top this back off.
Top of the morning to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'd say a 3 on the taste. I have nothing against it at all, but it's not the best I've ever had, but I certainly would never dump a glass of it.
A 3 out of 5.
Out of 5, it'd be a 4 if it's out of 5. Sorry.
All right, he gives it a 4 out of 5. All right. So there's an analogy. If the nose is a chocolate on a marshmallow that's been burnt, the taste is you drop the marshmallow in the fire for a second and then you pull it out and eat it. So there's like an ash aspect to it. So not that I think that it's bad at all, because this is what scotches, so many people who love scotches, the smokiness or that aspect of the peat or the smoke is so important to a scotch. I've never had one like this. It's not off-putting, but I will go with a 3 on the taste.
Okay.
Which, in my opinion, 3 out of 5 is still pretty damn good.
I agree. Now, is somebody writing this? I have not been writing these down.
We were both at 7, and now I'm at 10, and you're at 11.
Okay.
So, all right, I go last on the finish. I'm gonna have to say the finish is similar to there's an aspect of pineapple on the finish that I really like. I'm trying to see how long this is. It's mid to long finish. And sometimes I like to put the hug. If the hug remains, it's part of the finish for me. And this has got a hug. So I'm going to give this finish, because it's got the pineapple on it. It eliminates the whatever. I will give it a 4.
I think it would have a really delicate finish if it weren't for the hug. It's just smooth and delicate and not super long. I mean, it's not short, but it's not super long. Out of 5, I think 4 is what I would go with also.
All right. So out of 18, I ranked it 14 out of 18, and you ranked it 15 out of 18. So the Scotchy Bourbon Boys will give it a 14.5 out of 18, which, when you're talking about scotches that we always go about, I mean, you're talking about, this is Israeli. There's not a lot of whiskey coming out of Israel, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe the distiller who's on, I got that. Hold on. Where did it go? I want to see. I think he's on here. Let's see. He was there. I had it. I don't like shining this in. Okay. Yep. I read about the distiller. Did I read about him in the Terroir?
I think you did. You talked about Dr. Swan, who was the original master distiller, but he is since deceased.
Yes, but this guy.
The new guy.
It's the
you
new
did
guy
read
is
about
on the
him.
bottle. That's where I saw him. The new guy is Tomer L. Gorin, head distiller. Tomer. Is it Tomerl?
It's
Tomerl.
Tomer Gorin.
There's an
Goren Gorin.
Yeah, he is the master distiller there. And when you think about what he has taken over and what he's doing is pretty fantastic, right?
You know, and if we were to take our score to 100, we would be at 80.55, which is pretty close to what other folks have been getting. The other reviews that I read gave it. Most of them gave it in the 80s.
It's a good. There's no doubt it is good. And so
really good quality whiskey.
That wraps up the Old Louisville Whiskey Company's barrel bottle breakdown for tonight. And honestly, I really think that 14.5 score is a pretty damn good score for a single malt. You know, there's
Absolutely.
give
your glass another, give your Glen another nose right now. It's picked up the flavor that a little bit more of a traditional flavor that I'm used to now.
Yeah, the single malt, when you're just talking about malted barley as and it's so cool in my opinion when you're dealing with single malts opposed to bourbons or ryes, when when you're distilling something and when you distill that corn or you distill that rye or you distill that single malt, the flavors that happen within those barrels. Now, I understand why single malts buy those used bourbon barrels. One, you can't make more bourbon out of the used ones. And then when you buy it, it's going to pick up a little bit of that bourbon corn sweetness along with some of the caramelization that's within the barrel. So there's an aspect of getting those bourbon barrels of putting that bourbon flavor into Scotch that Scotch has always loved to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and with they're using the red wine barrels and actually scraping them clean or shaving them clean to get some of that out, and then re-toasting and re-charring to that really heavy number 4 alligator char.
If you ever watch how that's done, so what they do,
not the scraping, no, but
what happens is they take the barrel, they disassemble it, disassemble all the staves. They use the
planer,
the wood planer, plane off that top layer of char, and then put the barrel back together. If anybody's seen barrel making at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, they'll have a barrel maker there. They'll have a guy who actually fixes barrels by taking them apart and putting a new stave in. That happens all the time. That skill is something that's pretty amazing and fantastic. But like I said, that it's not like they go inside the barrel together. They actually will take it apart and reassemble. And that's one of the coolest things about bourbon barrels or wine barrels or whatnot. There's no glue involved. It's like that oak that they use when they put it together and make those staves and push the wood together that way in a tight way where they pound down those staves and make that wood go together. It forms an airtight lock, but the chemical makeup of that oak, as Greg Schneider always tells us, I think it's the Teloses in there, cause the wood to form a seal. That's why oak is such a great barrel making wood, whereas you don't get that with a cedar or a pine or other forms of wood. So the fact that and for a long time the Scotch industry and the single malt industry over the seas has been buying those used bourbon barrels.
Yes, they have, and that's been, it saves them money too from having to buy brand new oak barrels or other barrels. It saves them a lot of money, and it recycles, which is good.
100%. All right. So let's talk a little bit about when you're going to be on next in a couple months. What are we thinking? You've got those. We still have 2 more samples to go through. What were you thinking that we were going to do, or were we gonna try and get me a sample of the Lebanese?
I will bring you a sample of Lebanese at Bourbon Fest, so you'll have that.
Okay,
that'll
put us out another further away, right? So what are you thinking? I suppose it'll probably be, we're talking right now, we're in beginning of August, September, so beginning of October. But at the beginning, what are you thinking? Give everybody a feeling of what we're going to be tasting, so they got time to find it.
I don't know if they can find this one. I hope they can. The one we've got here is pretty easily found if anybody wants to get it. The Apex. The one I'm looking at now is Nestville whiskey. It's a Tatra Mountain whiskey, Tatra Mountains, and it is actually from Slovak Republic.
The Slovak Republic. Nestville whiskey. That's cool. I've never seen that bottle. You basically gave me the sample, but that looks interesting. Well, you've sampled it out and you've sampled it yourself, obviously.
I have. I cannot lie.
So, Doc, what do you think about it? Like when you're tasting other whiskeys? I know before you got into bourbon, which is fairly recent. What were you into scotches and single malts before that?
Yes.
Yes, and everybody. Doc is actually a doctor. He is a retired dentist, but he's earned that. But he also, with this whole international things and his original, what would you say? Your name on your presence on the internet was the Whiskey Doctor, and so this just made sense to do this. And we haven't formally thanked you for coming along onto the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We really appreciate it. I loved spending time with you in Chicago. Ted, who we met, he's a airline pilot, and how you go about searching for whiskey and meeting people. Your skills of being a doctor throughout your career really come into play, and it's great to have you on. And we appreciate everything that you're doing and expanding. Not only are you expanding the Scotchy Bourbon Boys to my vision, but at the same time, your how you've come about is exactly something that we appreciate, and you're allowing us to, and your knowledge of whiskey has been very, very helpful, especially when it, in non-bourbon aspects. And, so did you really get into other whiskeys before bourbon?
I come from basically a family that I grew up in a dry county, or my family's from a dry county in Arkansas. I went to college in a dry county. My dad drank beer. My mom didn't drink. I didn't drink until I probably had 2 beers until I was 25. So I didn't really drink a lot, but occasionally I'm not for religious reasons, which a lot of people do, but I don't believe in being a drunk, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having an occasional drink if you're responsible about it. But I got into Scotch because a friend gave me a bottle of 16-year-old Glenmorangie. which was just very, very, very good. Before that, most of the things I drank were in mixed drinks, cocktails. But then I drank a fair amount of wine growing up, after college. Didn't drink anything before probably age 25, other than those 2 or 3 beers.
Okay.
Into wine, and wine led into scotch because of the fruitiness that you get in a lot of the scotches. If you know, I'm not a fan of the real peaty scotches at all, but the Highland scotches, like, you know, the Highland ones like the Glenmorangie and some of the others, really like that. And then I had a buddy bring me some vodka from Mongolia. So I've had that. And then a friend of mine, one of my professors, because I did, after I a doctorate in leadership. So I was at was our of administration, because I owned my own practice. I did administration. He passed away, unfortunately, and he had a bottle of Blanton's on his shelf. And his wife said, "Does anybody here drink whiskey?" I said, "Well, I do." Didn't drink a lot, but I had been known to have a Jack and Coke. So I got given a bottle of Blanton's. If you're going to start, that's not a bad first bottle to start on. I know people knock it all the time.
No. Being a single barrel, you know, you got the bottle of Blanton's, and I'm hoping that your bottle of Blanton's, and obviously, you know, in my opinion, Blanton's is a hit or miss. It's like, and you probably hit, because I've got a Blanton's that I rated at 87, and I got a Blanton's that I got two weeks earlier from that, and I rated it a 62. So, you know, they could be hit or miss, but that's really kind of cool. So
yeah, well, I made bourbon and Coke with it, so it was fine as bourbon and Coke.
Of course, it's a damn good bourbon and Coke, whether you hit or miss.
67 or 87, it's a good bourbon and Coke. And then after that, when I moved down to Florida, I had more time on my hands, and I just started picking up different bottles and trying them.
Well,
and pretty soon I had what you see behind me.
That's a phenomenal story on it just proves and honestly, the thing that as you know, the bourbon and scotch and everything are great, but you really stick in it, and it's obvious with you is the people that you meet. You have a good knowledge of a lot of stuff. I mean, you've been around to a lot of distilleries, a lot of craft, and there's lots more to go. But it's really kind of cool how you picked up, you know, for me, I would have to say my dad was a Jack Daniels drinker, and I was drinking Jack at probably 13. I'm not, you know, we're talking about kids in the 80s and what we were doing.
We are not condoning that underage drinking, just to make sure you guys know.
I mean, for
we're
God's sakes,
underage drinking.
I graduated high school at 17. Right. So 9th, 10th, and 11th, you know, I was 13 when I was a freshman in high school and had my first non-grandpa or parent approved beer. So, and then, like I said, my dad was Jack Daniels, and it was, there never was a time where, you know, they let us just experiment. So you, unlike you, who started, you really, throughout your whole life, had a perspective of alcohol on the back burner. Yeah. But once you realized how much friendship that can come from, you know, the whiskey life or the bourbon life, that's what it's about. It's about people. And
that's exactly what it's about. That's why I've been to over 100 distilleries, because I go to meet people.
Right. And
I've shared with folks in the backest backwoods of Southwest Virginia, Appalachia, at distilleries that were just 2 or 3 years old, and I've shared with distilleries in New York City. I haven't been there yet, but I've got a barrel from Kings County, and I'm going to go up and see those guys either this year or early next year. Inner city distilleries, one in Newark, New Jersey, backcountry distilleries in Texas and Georgia and Florida. I went to one guy's distillery, and he is retired military, also former CIA, I think, but I can't prove or disprove that. Walked in, it was, I think, a Colt 44 on his hip. It's either a 357, like a Python, or a Colt 44 on his hip, walking around his farm. He grew all his own corn on his farm, grew his own oats, and he made his own whiskeys right there.
And
he built his own still that he used.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. You meet different people. Whiskey can be made so many different ways. I mean, you could go into Bill Samuel's office, and Jesse James Colt 45 is hanging on the wall. I mean, it's history. Whiskey is history. It's something that is cherished and preserved in its names. Some go away and they come back. It's history. So it's a really kind of cool thing. So thanks for sharing that. We're going to basically end the audio podcast like we always do. We'll finish up.
I'll tell you, I just poured a little of this, and when you get into that, it's going to be phenomenal.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
If you want to open your sample and try it, I will get you more of the sample before, because I'll be seeing you in 3 weeks. I'll just bring you more from this bottle.
All right. So let's see. I think I got to go here. Nope. I got to get ready to go. That was not it. That was very interesting what just happened. All right. So put that there. All right. This should. What just happened? All right, gonna need the keyboard for that. I learned a couple things. Remember how I was okay. It didn't work. That is crazy. Come on, escape. All right, so that's gonna be, let's see what we can do here. Nope. How did that, what just happened? All right, let's go to Apple. Recent items. Yep, that's what I want. Let's go to calendar. Nope. Oh, that goes over there. All right, so that was dumb. All right. Zoom. Let's try it again. Let's go to photos. There we go. I hit escape, and last time it worked, and now, let's see. So is that working? No. All right. So I should be able to do it again. We're good. We're trying to end this. What is going on? There it is. All right, so we're going to come over here. I'm going to hit this. Windows schedule. All right. I should be able to quit. Okay, exit. So that's the mail. So I'm going to force quit. Let's see if I can force
Robert Brown, if you're still on, at Locust Grove, you're going to be pretty close to Fredericksburg. If you get a chance to go over to Abraham Bowman Smith Distillery, you ought to head over that way. Abraham Smith Bowman, I'm sorry. Go over to Bowman Distillery if you get a chance, because that's in Fredericksburg. You won't be more than an hour, if that far, away from it.
All right, so we're gonna go back to Safari.
Smith Bowman.
This is Safari. All right. There that is. So that's desktop 1. Oh, there that is. That's what I want. All right, we want Safari. Let's do Safari. And we're going to go history.
Guys, remember, no matter what, drink responsibly.
Oh,
and
we're not
enjoy
finished.
life.
We're not
You gonna
quite
get
to
there?
that point. All right. I need my Safari. I need history. Well, I lost the song, and I don't know how I lost the song. It was up when I started. And all right, and I can't do that.
If you're gonna sing it for us, let me have another drink real quick.
No, I'm not singing any songs. I just can't
I heard
believe
you-
how it just
You sang it and take me out to the ball game. You did great.
Yeah, I know that
You got a
song.
nice tenor baritone voice. You did fine.
You talked to my wife about that one. Desktop 1. So we're just we lost desktop 2, which had the song on that I looked on all night. Okay, so if I go to here, I should be able to, oh, there it is, history. Let's see if I can find it.
You have a Mac,
Suno.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm looking. Wednesday. Oh, Forester, Woodford Reserve. What the heck is going on Tuesday? Let's see. Middle West. About Middle West. Let's see what happens. Nope, that was Facebook. All right, we're just going to end it. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, t-shirts, Glencairns. If you want, message me on YouTube or Facebook and I can get those to you, or check out the website and order that. We get it to you. And then also Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. And also
get this from you.
Yes, you can get that from us. Talk to me about that. And then also remember, we are on Spotify, iHeart, Apple. But whether you listen to us or you watch us, make sure you like, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. And remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Make sure you don't drink and drive and you live your life uncut and unfiltered. But no one's taking us out tonight. Good night. All right, we're off. I'm going to quick get that podcast. Good job, Randy.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
I appreciate
I like
you did.
I think us spending some time directly in Chicago, it's helped out definitely our chemistry. And you did, like I said, I felt really comfortable doing this, and you did a really good job, and you knew everything you needed to know. Good call on trying to get the rep on. In the future, I mean, we could be doing a trip over to. I'm working on getting my passport now. I got my license to travel within the States, but I'm working on getting my passport, and we could do a Scotchy Bourbon Boys trip where we go around to different distilleries. And this distillery would be something.
Right now. I'm not going over there now.
Not right now. You're right.
As a matter of fact, if you look on the website, it tells how many people have been killed.
At the distillery,
have a clock going up on how many people have been killed in this war.
Well, in this war, but I mean, the Dead Sea's not quite where they're attacking.
Right, they're hitting Jerusalem more than they're hitting Tel Aviv, I'm sure.
But it's still not. I mean, that's all I want to do is become a hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the travel thing is probably, all right.
Scotland, yeah.
So I'm going to copy and paste if I have that anywhere, I don't even think I have that up right now. There it is. Workflow, home. We'll copy and paste the link. Copy invitation. Come over here to Facebook. There's all the comments. There's 135 comments. They were going crazy. All right, if anybody wants to join us. All right.
35 on Facebook.
Let's try that again. I did it twice. Comments, yeah, 135 comments on Facebook. And YouTube was great.
That's what I counted.
Vajra, Can Park First said hi. And yeah, and we did this one. We did all right on. We were kicking butt all night long on YouTube.
Good. Now I'm going to show something. You did this a few weeks ago. This Elmer T. Lee, the 2024 version. I have never been a super fan of Elmer T. Lee before, but I bought the 2024 and opened it, and it is, man, it's twice as good as any other.
You're starting? I agree with you. That's one of the things I have to say. I had the old bottle, so they went up against each other, and that there was no comparison.
I've got that one, and then I've got the 2023 here, which I had been forcing myself to drink.
That was bourbon hunting in Chicago. Oh, that's I didn't put the right thing. Hold on. I sent it to Bourbon Hunting in Chicago, not tonight.
They'll appreciate it.
Here we go. I wish Walker would have said. Walker's like, Dead Sea is closer to the conflict than Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
All right, Walker.
John Ritz saying, "Where's the link?"
There's the link.
Yeah, I have not.
I sent it to the last podcast that was still great. Well, it's Thursday
now. It's in there now.
What is with the time? I can't believe. I mean, we were just in Chicago Friday, Saturday, Sunday but tomorrow will be a week from the Chicago game, and you were on the road, but the time. I just as a kid, I used to remember the time always taking so long to get to the weekend. And yeah, but the work week now moves as fast as the weekends used to work.
It does. That means you like your work. Or you're overwhelmed by it.
My work keeps me busy, and it's not boring because there's always something else to do. Hey, yeah. John.
Homies.
Thanks for coming on.
You know, I had a hard time being a specialist in dentistry and doing the same thing over and over. Would have been tough on me.
So we've already got 3 people accepting the date. Sarah said that she wanted the November date. And you said it didn't.
She actually said a different date in November is what she preferred.
No.
She said November 8th, and you said 18th.
No. Did I?
Let
me. From the room over to my office real quick. I'll be right there.
Okay.
You're going into an office?
Urban room in my office.
Okay. Oh. I'm like,
yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Are you rating the general stash?
I did not say that.
The general stash? You're going to get some scotches for us?
No, not currently. But I'm going to get a scotch for you. But we've already talked about that.
Yeah,
that's called dues.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, brother. Let me see if I can unplug here. Yeah, I got back up to 95% with the charge, so that's pretty good. And I won't lie, I've been dipping into my Dalton and my Lillian.
I thought that went well, did you not?
I think it went well.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm really pleased that y'all are continuing to grow closer and that I was a part of that. A small
Me
part.
too. Thank you, Walker.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for being patient with me as well as, a great friend. Gonna get one more bottle back over in here in case I get a hankering.
Sugar. Excuse me, boys, I got to do something. Maybe.
Okay.
Y'all keep talking.
Did you notice the upgrade on the face?
Whatever do you mean?
Whatever.
Little darker.
I look a little younger. There's no it's the time. It just there you go.
No play for Mr. Gray.
No.
Yeah, I shaved mine off, man. It was looking pretty crummy. I'm like, yeah, I got to go back to work on Monday, so I got to look young again.
I'm honest. I went with one of my big Glenn's, one of those that I get from the Christmas pack for the Jack Daniel's single barrel.
Dang,
But
dude.
yeah, that's
Spiritual
the rocks glass, Glenn.
Yeah,
Yep,
you can put your whole nose and mouth in that, man.
Yep, and it opens a lot. So
I just saw that on the internet. I'm like, that looks interesting. I'm like, well, that's a rocks Glen, so you can throw like ice in there and shit.
yeah, so I started with the Lillian and now I'm on the Dalton. So
Excellent. Well, I'm not going to do too much tonight. YouTube's calming down. It did all right. I can stay on. What time is it? 9:47. I'll stay on till 10. A couple more minutes. But
good.
The next podcast will be Aaron Harris, and we're going to be doing the 250th on Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
And then the following podcast will be Randy Prass.
Setting you up for the banks.
Yep. And he is going to talk about everything about the festival.
Yeah.
And then I will be headed to Michigan, and there will be a live 5:30, 6 o'clock podcast from Ironfish.
Up to Knobs?
On Friday with Knobs, yes. And then Knobs is going to take over part of some of my editing for our content, because running the lives is what I want to do, but I get so much video content, and I've been watching a couple other guys that are successful, and the lives will be great, but the video content has to go, and I haven't put any video content out in a while as far as prepared videos, and he's going to start doing that for me. So we're going to get that all set up when I go up there.
Like shorts?
No, I'll keep doing the shorts because I can do the shorts, but he is going to take over videos on YouTube, and then he's going to also take over Instagram and X, because I'm YouTube and Facebook. So between the two of us, we should start to go forward and really become a force. As far as we already are somewhat of a force, but I want to take it to the next level. I would like, instead of thousands of views on stuff, and then on I would like it to be more like the shorts, where I get hundreds of thousands and millions of views, and get up to 1 million subscribers. I mean, if Bruzel can do it, you can do it. Yes.
All right, Jeff. Orchid says hi, Jeff.
Hey,
I'm going to go with something.
Hello, Orchid.
Randy,
Hi, Orchid.
Randy, where's Oliver? Probably eating his paws on the couch.
Hey, Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
Hey, Abby.
Hi.
You
I'm going
knew
to go with
that.
something I've been hesitant to open, which is basically a dessert pour marketed by Total Wine called Old Emmer Weeded Cask Strength.
Wow.
So I'm going to go with that.
It's
Where did you
behind
get
me.
that?
At
Wine?
Total Wine
I've heard of that before.
before I left Kentucky, but it's here too.
Well, are you gonna? What are you bringing for the bus tour?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I've got, let's see, I'll think through the stuff that I was planning. So I've got Panna Cotta Maker's Mark. So it's a one that gets put out by Star Hill Farm every now and again. I've got, what else? Doing that new riff. Let me walk over the shelf, so I'm thinking about it.
Walker, I've got that old Emmer. I'm looking for it. But I've got it.
Did you see this,
I've never
Walker?
even opened it.
Did you see this?
Yeah, was that what you put out there today?
What?
I can't see that far. What is it?
What do you mean?
Jack Daniels something.
No, it is Jacob Bromwell. It's the
No, but Randy told me about it.
Is that the mail call today?
what?
Did you get
Mail
you
call.
posted something today? You got something in the mail
I did.
That was
Oh,
yesterday.
yesterday. Is that it though?
Then
I
this is yes.
I may bring this on the tour bus. Should I bring this or should I not? 35-year-old Scotch.
That might be cool.
I'm not
I
gonna
think we should do that at the end, though.
when nobody
should I-
can when everybody's bombed.
I'm gonna say, or
Well-
since it's Bourbon Fest, should I stick with bourbons?
I would stick with bourbons probably.
Oh yeah, there
for
it is,
me,
Jeff.
For me, yes. So my
There
issue
it is,
last year,
Randy.
Tony, was
Yeah, I see that.
That's
It's beautiful.
24 karat gold plated.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
it is.
It was
Oh,
such a
good.
deal I couldn't pass it up. But can I put whiskey in on it and drink in it? Do you?
Jan,
You could put Kool-Aid in there, bro. But I
I
wouldn't.
put whiskey in mine, but it's not.
I mean, that original price on it is $1,000.
Yep.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
When you guys do this Lebanese one, the back end of this has really got some great information.
Yep. I
I
am
mean,
going
how
to
it's
do that.
distilled in the copper gooseneck.
Yep, I am going to do that one.
Man, this is bad. And I'm telling you, man,
I'll be right back, boys.
this is so good.
Look what it
Yeah.
comes with.
What?
A funnel.
It's the hat of the Tin Man.
I love it. Need some oil?
No, it's a funnel but the funnel's gold plated.
That's
Yeah,
freaking
it is.
badass, dude.
And it comes with its own little bag.
Blanton's-esque.
It's just like crazy.
So cool, dude.
That's
I
why
can bring an RD1, but I have to reseal one of these. So this is a single barrel Amberana, in which case I might just bring you a sample instead of doing this. I'm just getting past where I'm actually able to do the 4 samples that I'm allowed.
which RD1 is that?
It's a single barrel Chris's pick. Chris, the guy, the representative Kroger who helps do their barrel program. That's an Amberana single barrel.
Okay.
Then this one is an orphan barrel, essentially. Orphan barrel is the wrong word. This one is a companion to an orphan barrel that Barry Brenniger told me about that he brought out for us to taste out of the trunk of his car. But this one was picked by Liquor Barn, I think.
Nice.
That's kind of cool.
Could be wrong. That may have been a Kroger pick, but it was Lexington Bourbon Society. Let's see
How's
if I
that
can-
Amberana one? We did one from Koval, and
It's
we're not big
delightful.
Amberana fans. Some of us are, and some of us aren't. But
The one
It's delightful.
the
okay.
Barry knows how to do Amberana.
Oh yeah.
I've got his original release, and I actually am not a huge fan of overdone Amberana. But this one here, I don't think we actually ever did it either.
An RD1.
I'm gonna put out next week's.
Yeah.
There it is. Thanks to John. Thank you so much for getting that.
Anytime, man. And Walker, hope maybe Randy can ship you your shit too. That'd be good, man. Maybe you can get it before next week.
Yeah.
Is that Tuesday, Jeff?
Yes, Tuesday.
Man, I got first day of school is Wednesday. That'll be a short night for me.
If we can't do that, what I'll do is I'll go up to Tucson because I found one in a store in Tucson, but it took a little while.
What do you call a short night? Leaving at 10 o'clock when I do?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I found something
First
else.
month or so, you gotta ease your way in, man.
I mean, for God's sakes, Walker. It's like Walker is Walker's in Arizona, so he's 2 hours behind. It's just 8 o'clock there. He's got I get him drinking.
Always bring one of these.
He starts drinking at
An 18?
Roxy will love you.
15
or 15. Sorry.
Yeah.
We saw those here, Jeff, but they weren't 15 aged when we were.
That was the cat. That was the cask finished. It was a wine barrel cask finish of that, and that is okay. But the 15 is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, people rip on it because it's 80 proof, but it's probably the best 80 proof whiskey you could ever drink.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I can't wait till we bring you to Kentucky.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
That's gonna be fun. All right, I'm gonna take us off YouTube real quick.
I can bring a double oak pick for CT, and folks, this one's from Covington area.
Okay. You have the double oak?
I have.
Oh,
Thanks to my
Good
friend.
night, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Night, YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Night, YouTube.
Do what?
I was saying.